I love how the Lord is establishing us. He's establishing our hearts in faith, establish our hearts in the goodness of the Lord, so that when stuff happens, we don't get shaken. Think of Paul and Silas. Here we are, kind of an overt example. Here they are. I don't know if they were beaten, but they were certainly put in stocks in a prison. And, you know, for all the world, that looks like a good reason to be down in the dumps. But instead, they begin just rejoicing like Rick. He's just getting happy in the middle of unknown, uncertain future, at least uncertain as the world says. And what did their praises do? Created an earthquake. Wow, that's what went from bad to worse, didn't it? No. Oh, anyway, I tell you, we're going to be the unshakable, empowered saints, sons and daughters of God who create stability in a world that's topsy-turvy. It's getting gooder all the time. Let me add another thing to this friend of mine I said who was a mentee disciple. And so he says in the last 6 months he's probably submitted nearly 100 resumes. And he's a pretty qualified guy in a couple of areas, IT and medical, and so he's pretty qualified. He says everywhere where it seems like he should get it, the door just shuts or he never hears from them, even after a second submission of a resume. He says it's the weirdest thing ever. And boy, was he chafing. Oh, he was just chafed raw. You know, it's like, what's going on here? He just got all a dither, you know. Well, the only job he could get, and he's actually doing 2 different part-time jobs, and even with those 2, he says, it's not possible for me to make a living on this. I can't even pay bills on this. But he says, it's the only job I have. I says, that right there is your bottom line. You just show yourself to be faithful in what God does give you. You're not a slacker, so you're not missing anything. God's in the process. And sure enough, the provision, the supply, doesn't come through his job, because his job couldn't supply enough anyway. The supply comes through the Father's provision that comes supernaturally. And he is just like, I think I'm finally getting it, especially this last month. He's actually joyful about embracing this process. I'm like, it just melts my heart, actually, that the Lord is weaning him from the standard of the world and taking us to something much better. So, closed doors of this nature, especially when you're qualified and you're active and you're faithful at being available, closed doors are a very good sign. They're a sign that God's got a design, and it's the best.